Thanks for having me. I'm going to talk about four stories tonight. Four stories that are inextricably linked to moments in my life. But first, I have to tell you guys, I made a little observation. I've been walking around tonight, and I noticed, just an observation, every single person in this bar, very attractive. And I can only assume, based on your attendance, articulate, probably well educated. So I want to tell you guys about something that you haven't heard of before. There's a website called OkCupid. I know, it's a weird name. It's like, OkCupid, I'll do it my fucking self. And what you do is you go on this website, and if you're shy like me, you write a little something about yourself, and hopefully other shy people will go on dates with you. And what most people write is I don't know what to write. But the number two thing that most people write, the second biggest cliche on that website is, I'm looking for a drama-free relationship. I'm not into games, and you shouldn't be either. And what those people are trying to say is just I know they just want like a mature relationship, right? And they're bad people, and or they're not my people, right? Because I want drama in my relationships. I just want us all to be heroes, and fuck maturity, because here's why. Maturity, being an adult, is nothing like a game. It is very few rules and lots of consequences. Consequences are terrible because there's no reasoning with them. They're your fate. That's what fucking happens, and there's no bending them. There's no making them up on the spot. That's just what happens. But rules, I love rules. I love breaking them, but I love them. They rules are what turns chaos into order. Rules are what turns noise into music, and rules, like the human heart, are made to be broken. And all you need, I know that was cute, right? All you need are a couple of rules, and you have yourself a game. And I'm into games. Okay, so 4 games. Games that don't come in a box, that didn't come on a cartridge or on somebody's phone. 4 games that emerged out of moments in my life. 4 games that I feel like if I tell you about the game, I can convey something about that time and that place and those people I was playing with that maybe I couldn't get across otherwise. Game number 1 is called spitting with your mouth open, and what you do, you try and spit with your mouth open. And if I tell you about that game, if I tell you about that stupid, immature, gross game, I can tell you something about the best moments between me and my brother growing up in the bush, bored out of our fucking minds. My parents are still on dial-up, and with nothing to do but stand out on the highway at night and try and just stand there until you crack up, right? Game number 2 is called Jump Up But Not Down. And I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory, but there's a trick to it. What you do is you jump up in the air, and then at the apex, at your arc, you just for a moment, just for a split second in your mind, just buy that magic is a thing. Okay, just be like, okay, I know that the world works that way, but maybe not. And I can tell you about this story, and I can tell you about my best friends, Josh and Corky, and playing this with them when I was a teenager, and then seeing them be high school sweethearts and get married at 21 and start cranking out kids like the house was on fire. Just like, Four kids, four happy, healthy kids who as soon as you walk in the door, wrap themselves around your legs and start playing Werewolf Princesses or whatever they're into at the time. And if I tell you that they support this beautiful, functional, incredible family of 6 on a single income derived from an art school undergraduate degree, you kind of have to believe that magic is a thing that happens to do that, I kind of, every time I walk in their house, I am like, this is what it feels like to jump up but not down. Game number 3. This one's a little, it's called Floppy Chicken, and what you do, it's kind of fucked up. What you have to be 13, and you have to. It has to be 1994 in Renfrew, Ontario, and you have to be pretty screwed up for a 13-year-old, like really, like cutting yourself and making denim curtains to shut the light out, and you have to be sticking your fingers down your throat to try and stay home from school and just begging to be homeschooled, and the powers that be in their infinite wisdom have to think, oh, we'll skip this kid ahead of grade past grade 8 into high school, into the fucking lion's den of a high school nicknamed the Factory, because it is literally a decommissioned factory with all the warmth and creativity that goes along with that. And to play this game, you skip school with the foster kids, and you walk down the gravel shoulder of the highway to the mall, where you can still smoke in the hallways, which is weird. And you go off to one of the little offshoot things, and you lean against the wall of the hallway, and you exhale as far as you can. And then one of the other kids, they press as hard as they can into your solar plexus after you've exhaled all the way, and you start to black out, and everything goes black, and you start spasming like a dying bird, and you pass out, and they catch you, and the blackness goes away in this constellation of stars, and you come to, and you start to laugh because of how fucked up that just was. And then you pick yourself up, and you go straight to the McDonald's inside the Woolco, and you get taken out by your collar by security for getting in an ice cube fight, because breaking the rules feels fucking good. Game number 4. Game number 4 is, and this is it's an old game, but we adapted it. It's called Exquisite Corpse on a Harvey's Wrapper, and we play this game on tour with my band, which is my favorite place in the world to be. And what you do is you write the first paragraph of a story on a piece of paper, or most likely a Harvey's wrapper. It's the only place you can get vegetable protein in the middle of fucking nowhere. So you write this story, and then you fold it over so only the last couple of lines of what you wrote are visible, and then you pass it back behind you in the minivan to the next person, and they continue on with what they can see. They continue on with this story. It's kind of a Mad Libs broken telephone kind of thing. And if I tell you about that game, I can tell you about packing 7 of my favorite people into a terrifying broken down minivan, and going on tour for weeks, and being in the middle of rural New Brunswick, and we don't know where the venue is, and we don't know where we're staying that night, and we forgot the saxophone in Fredericton, and a girl comes up to you after the show. She's crying, and she's saying how much your lyrics meant to her and touched her personally, and you find out that she misheard them. Those are not, I'm sorry, honey, that is not what I said. I didn't, that's true, but I didn't tell her that. No, that's what you get it. You really get it. So you're on tour for weeks, and people start getting the way they get when they're living on fast food and sleeping on floors, and it's all just confusion and madness. And then it's 3 a.m. and you're crossing the Confederation Bridge from PEI to the mainland, and it's 30 below, and there's these signs every 50 feet with a rule on them, no stopping. It's this 2-kilometer long bridge, no stopping. So you stop, and you get out because there's nobody coming. It's 3 in the morning, and you look over the edge, and the Northumberland Strait is covered in these massive chunks of ice, the size of the minivan, and they're lit up by the lights on the bridge, and they're grinding against each other. And you start to laugh in this silent exhalation kind of way because all these weeks of craziness and confusion and crankiness have turned into something so poetic that it's funny, and so funny that it's poetry, and it's something you'll remember on your deathbed. It's an exquisite corpse. And people who want mature relationships don't play spitting with your mouth open. People who want to be mature don't jump up but not down, and people who want drama-free relationships would not last 5 minutes on tour, but that's okay because they are not my people, because I'm into games. Thank you.